Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming.
The world's just changed so radically, and we're all running to catch up. How can we possibly have the slightest idea what to expect? The best intentions. Some of the worst things imaginable have been done with the best intentions.
Dr. Malcolm, here to share a few campfire stories with my uncle.
You can convince the Washington Post and the Skeptical Inquirer of whatever you want. But I was there, I know what happened, and so do you.
I don't think you're giving us our due credit. Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could that they didn't stop to think if they should.
Hello, welcome to episode 48 of Jurassic Minutes, the August issue, where we discuss recent toy, movie and franchise news for the Jurassic series. I'm Brad.
I'm Dave.
And on this episode we're discussing Jurassic Park stomping back in the theatres, if you're lucky enough to be near a theatre showing it. We have a couple of musical articles to discuss, and finally, Jada Toys has listened to fans and is giving us what we want. But stay tuned for that as we discuss shortly. But first, David, it's been a pretty quiet collecting month. I've only picked up the Dominion therazinosaur, and that's because it was on clearance for $20, so that's the only thing I've picked up.
Yeah, I haven't really picked up anything. I'm trying to save off to pay off my one student loan. So.
Yep. So yeah, not a lot of purchases. Unfortunately, we are starting to look towards Christmas and possibly getting stuff in. The Prime, is it Prime 1 or the, I think Iron Studios Male Velociraptor statue? That's got to be getting close to release, hasn't it?
It should be, yeah. I think that's supposed to be set for Q3 this year, so I think this fall is when it's expected.
Yep. And I'm looking forward to that a lot, so
Me too.
that's probably going to be my big thing that I get before Christmas, so yeah, and still paying off the big diorama of the two Rexes and the Explorer, the M-Class. Before we get into the news quickly, David, we did mention it last week on the current minute of Fallen Kingdom Minutes, but Jurassic-PD.com's got the petition going for the Save the Male T-Rex, the Buck T-Rex, that was in that failed crowdfunding campaign by Mattel. And the more images I see of it, we need that figure released.
Yeah. We got a picture of it up here in our article that we'll be discussing here shortly for our Comic-Con. And
it's especially when, again, alluding to that article we're going to talk about shortly. It'll be on one of the future minutes. Like the next Hammond Collection figure that's been revealed is a Dimetrodon, which, yeah, okay, it has ties all the way back to the original Kenner line with Grant, the collector card and that come with Grant, but I prefer the Male Rex over the Dimetrodon.
yeah, really.
But we don't know what they're thinking. They might have plans for it, they might not. It's just a wait and see at this point, but we can help out by signing that petition, so there's links to it behind the gates. There's links to it. Jurassic has been posting up on the socials. I've been sharing it wherever I see it, and I think I've posted it to the Minutes Facebook group as well, so get on there, throw your signature on there. It takes a couple of minutes to do, and show Mattel that we really want this T-Rex released.
Definitely.
Moving on into the news, and a little bit of sad news to start off the show. The passing of Jimmy Buffett, age 76. No cause of death or anything's been released, which doesn't really matter. 76 is a good innings. Bringing it up, of course, because of his cameo in Jurassic World, being able to get on screen in the Jurassic series. So it was a good, funny little moment. Him just vacationing, visiting one of his. He was credited as himself, wasn't he?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, so you'd only assume that he was there visiting one of his locations.
Yeah.
Well, just enjoying himself with a couple of margaritas.
Does the existence of Jimmy Buffett in Jurassic World universe imply the existence of his song Volcano? Because I don't know where I'm going to go when the volcano blows.
It's a shame. It's a shame that come out a long time ago. Otherwise, you might think that it was inspiration for it by surviving the island, and then what happened to the island in this movie. But sad time for the man. Great music, great musician, and it was great to see him grab those two margaritas and run from the Dimorphodons and the Pteranodons. If you're lucky enough, I think 1,200 theatres across the US had Jurassic Park back on the big screen. There has been a couple of theatres here in Australia do it as well, so it's not just limited to the US. David, did you get a chance? Did you have a theatre near you that was showing Jurassic Park again?
They probably were, but I didn't really look for it. I've seen it in theaters a few times already, so... Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not like the magic gets lost, but I mean, I've seen it, so it wasn't really a priority for me to see it again.
Yep. And it was before the dates, or before it happened, it was being spouted as for the 30th anniversary, which I kind of understand, but August is a little bit further away from its release date. But then looking at what is this Gizmodo article here, it tied more into National Theatre Day or National Cinema Day, which was on the Sunday. So I'm guessing it wasn't the only film that come back, even though it's the only film I know that come back to cinemas. I'm sure there might have been a Jaws here and there or an Indiana Jones or something as well. But over 1,200 screens across the US and in 3D as well. So if you haven't seen the film in 3D, if you feel compelled to see the film in 3D, that was there. Other interesting thing too, in this big old world of all the movies coming out, it managed to get just over 2.5 million more to the box office as well, which doing a little bit better than some of the new films that have in their 5th or 6th week, or even some that were in their 2nd or 3rd week. So I think by week 3, The Flash was down around a couple of million too. So good to see it's still doing all right at the box office.
Yeah, it's always been a popular movie, and it's really, I mean, as somebody who has seen it in the theaters, it's kind of one of those movies that are made for the theater experience with the full surround sound and the bass all jacked up and the big screen.
It's interesting here looking. I've got a link here to Box Office Mojo. Looking at the past releases of the film, like the 2013 re-release had 45 million. This one, 2.4. There was a re-release in 2020 which only got 1.3 million, so it has come to theatres a few times. That poor 2018 release where it only got 300,000. It must have been a few smaller theatre chains that got that back for that, and not as wide ranged. Wow, and even just looking at the Jurassic World, as lifetime gross, just 650 million for that, and then Fallen Kingdom drops to 417, then Dominion's only 376. Like, those figures like that pretty much tell you that I don't know if Universal's going to be looking at a fourth world film or what's going to happen there. That's a pretty big drop, nearly half the lifetime gross from. Which I suppose it needs some time for Dominion to catch up a bit. But yeah, even the openings are way off too. So yeah, it's not a good sign for the franchise moving forward, theatre-wise anyway.
What are you and Ellie going to do now if you don't have to pick up dinosaur bones anymore?
I don't know, I guess. Guess we'll just have to evolve too.
Moving on to some music now. La La Land Records is just about to re-release a special 2-disc set for The Lost World now in 2018, I think it was. It does say it here somewhere. there was a release in 2018 for it was a 4 CD set with The Lost World and Jurassic Park, which I picked up. Lots of new tracks. Sounds a little bit better than the original one too. And overall pretty happy with it. But now now they've decided that they're going to release it again. And a couple of little bit of extra music on it, but not overly massive extras that they've put into this set.
I mean, in the end, when you have full movie rips, I mean, really, how much more can you add, you know?
Yeah. And I should mention it was 2016 too, not 2018. I just found it. The reason for this might be partly because that 2016 release was limited to 500 units, which sold out quickly, and the eBay prices were stupid at times for it. So I thought, yep, they're going to re-release this and it's going to be great, but once again, it's set to a limited release, I think, of another 5,000. So they've seen what they've done before and didn't even take the next step. They just copied it. Did you get that? You got that 2016 set, didn't you?
No, I never got the set. Actually, though, I got a rip of it from a friend.
Okay. It does have a lot of great music on there that was not included in that original '97 release. Obviously, two CDs instead of the one. There's a lot on there. So I have the 2016 one. I'm not going to double up on this just for that little bit of extra music on the end, and let some other fans get their hands on it. Because of my horrible memory, Dave, I'm going to ask you once again if you ever got down to Islands of Adventure, Universal's Florida Park. I'm pretty sure
I have not.
No, that's the one, yeah, because, well, I suppose from where you are, and I know we've talked about this before, from where you are, it's sort of, you either cross the country one way or you cross the country going down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not a lot to talk on this one then. Universal's releasing a soundtrack for their Islands of Adventure theme park. There are some Jurassic theme music on that for, I'm guessing, Q music and that at the rides.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I've never been, so never heard the music. Probably not going to pick this up, Dave. Are you going to pick up the soundtrack for the Islands of Adventure?
I might, just out of curiosity. Just because I've never heard it before, so I'm kind of curious what it sounds like.
Yeah, I'll just, even just looking through the track titles here, you do have a lot of the other sort of areas, not just Jurassic, where some of this music might, Banner Science Park, some of the other music might be alright, so, yeah, I'll, might see what happens when it's not going to be on iTunes, is it? See if we can get some samples of this so I can hear what some of the music is, and, I suppose the other thing, you just go to YouTube and watch some family videos of people touring the Islands of Adventure and listen that way.
Why would they care what we think?
What kind of park is this? It's right up your alley.
We talked last episode about Limited Run Games remastering and releasing two of the old Jurassic, I think, and SNES and the Sega game as well. I think. Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park 2, The Chaos Continues. We've got all the box art, all the extras between the prehistoric edition and the classic edition here. Some interesting stuff, like the electronic edition of the T-Rex in that sort of can of packaging. 2D, of course. Sort of VHS slip covers, that sort of thing. On the packaging for the game itself, I found it weird that they went like a 3D art for it. I can see people sort of getting that and thinking that's what the game looks like, and then seeing that 8-bit or 16-bit gameplay and going, oh wow, I don't think I should have brought this, or that'd be the ones wanting to buy it to play the game and not just have it to display. But yeah, I've got my son a Switch for Christmas, so I've only just got into the newer gaming system, so I might have a look if it's still around in a couple of weeks' time. I might throw a pre-order down on it. But Dave, when we talked last time, you weren't getting this, were you?
Nah, probably not.
No, so it'd be good to see what other games they might do as well. If this is successful, but I suppose unless they remastered the original Lost World on PS1, I've got all these games on Super Nintendo, so I don't really need to double up to get a better version of them when that's the version I remember playing. So yeah. Anyway, moving on to some vehicle news. Jeep has released Jeep Graphic Studios has launched vehicle graphics packages for their Wrangler and Gladiator, I think, is the other one. If you've got a Jeep, you can theme it in the Jurassic Park sort of style. You get the sticker on the door, some other decals as well. I don't think it says here how much. Oh yeah, $550, which that's for the low end. There's a second package that's $650, which again gives you all your decals, your hood decals, all that sort of stuff to make, I'll say a Jurassic Park inspired or themed vehicle. It's not straight up the decals you get on the original Wrangler. And I'd assume that this was going to be something they offered for any of the new vehicles and that, or anyone wanting a Jeep moving forward, until I noticed that there's only 100 units available in this run.
Mm-hmm.
So you buy the sticker kit, you get Jeep 01 or whatever number, and that's the only one that's going to be made of that number. So it's probably reflective why the price is up a little bit more, because it is a limited market of that 100 units. But I've never owned a Jeep. I went past a car yard the other day and seen the price tag on a brand new Jeep there, and I thought I'm never going to own one of those. So I don't think you could contact them and just get this for your Chevy Nova or something. Like, it's only a Jeep only thing. So, and you don't own a Jeep, do you, Dave?
No, I wish I did, but like you said, those prices.
For what they are, it's
Aren't they lovely? Aren't they glorious? These will be your transports for the afternoon.
No drivers?
No drivers. But they're electric. They run on this track in the middle of the roadway here. Totally non-polluting, top of the line, spared no expense.
One movie vehicle I do want to own. Jada Toys had a booth at Comic-Con 2023, and they had some of their stuff there, upcoming vehicles and that they're doing in diecast, and finally revealed the 1/8" scale true spec Jurassic Ford Explorer, which is a thing of beauty. It looks great from all the photos we've seen. I think someone mentioned a price around the 120 USD mark, and it's due out in spring next year. So
It's very, very highly detailed. It looks great.
It just takes what we got with the Mattel one and just goes to extra. The paint looks fantastic. The paint looks right. The stickers are all in the right spot. You haven't got the Jurassic and the IC mix up on the door like a lot of eBay sticker kits do. The front sensors, the lights, it's just lovely. Also, it does have some inside detail, I believe, even though not pictured here. Pending license approval, Universal, if you knock this back, you're going to have a lot of angry fans. So yeah, something you're going to pick up?
Oh, definitely, I think.
Will it just be one?
I don't think. I think it's just going to be the one, yeah.
Yeah.
There's 4, and I already have 4. Now, if they're doing 5 and 4, I'd pick up both.
I'd hope, and we've mentioned this before for the Mattel stuff and that as well, I'd hope that they can see the resale value of getting double out of the mold by just having 2 separate ones with the 2 different numbers on it. You don't have to change anything else. And realistically, you can charge that $120 twice. What's that, $240? So you're still nowhere near the price of what one of those Prime Studios Explorers was, even though it has lights and everything else. But that's, you're nearly around the same price of getting one of them German model kits that are in short supply now as well, and doing all that. So this is a lot less the effort, and you don't have to paint it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That is one big pile of shit.
All right. Lastly, there is some movement ahead for the Jurassic franchise. Not so much a movie or a live-action TV show as some fans wanted, but we've had a hint that there's going to be a new Lego release coming towards the end of the year. A retelling of Jurassic Park, it seems. I don't mind the Lego stuff. I know I've got a link here to the Outpost article up about it, and they're a little bit cynical as to why we're still getting the kiddier side of releases from Universal with Jurassic. The easy answer to that is it's cheap and easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
They're not, it's CG Lego, but the Lego studios at this point are pretty effective and can do a pretty good job. I didn't mind most of the Lego stuff we've had for Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom, and that Lego game's still fantastic too, being able to explore both islands. So my biggest disappointment in this was seeing it's only 22 minutes long. I would much prefer either a 6-episode miniseries or something just to experience Jurassic Park in Lego form. But unfortunately not. Unfortunately, also too, it's getting streamed to Peacock, so interesting to see how we can get our hands on that if we don't have Peacock.
Yo ho, yo ho. I didn't say that, did I?
One way or another, we'll get to see this. All right. So yeah, a bit of a quick one this month. Not a lot happening. Yeah, that Jurassic thing's supposed to be out in November, so not a couple of months to wait for that. Hopefully we might get a trailer, although the trailer's going to show 1/10 of the whole thing. So we'll see what happens there. But Dave, that's been August. That's been Jurassic Minutes for this month. Ticking along towards the end of the year, and we're sort of still getting little nuggets of information coming out on new toys and that sort of stuff as well. So we'll sign off for today and be back next week with another Jurassic World Minute, Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah, sounds good.